Good morning everyone and welcome to another RF Crypto video. On today's video we will be speaking about the general market itself, how the Bitcoin price is doing in terms of its support and resistance levels, how it's moving within those support and resistance levels. We will also be speaking about how Mexican billionaires and senators are very pro crypto and especially pro Bitcoin, and more so now than ever. Afterwards we'll speak a little bit about how the SEC approved a fourth Bitcoin ETF, but this time it's a little bit different and it maybe paves the way for a spot Bitcoin ETF. We'll also speak about Solana and how it's successful in terms of NFT marketplace integration and how its dApps are performing well. We'll finish it off by speaking about Gemini, which is a crypto exchange. It's one of the exchanges that they go through a very rigorous process in order to list coins. They won't just list any coin, and they're very pro regulation. So it's an interesting take compared to other exchanges which are very anti regulation. Look at the market today. We are at $1.95 trillion, which is a 1.51% decrease over yesterday. Beginning of last week, we saw the crypto market cap at 2.15 trillion. So about $200 billion has been wiped out of the crypto market. And this is mainly due to the Fed's hawkish stance, whereby it says that it would increase interest rates and it would decrease the size of its balance sheet in order to reduce inflation so that it removes the burden of increasing prices from the US public. The markets are in general red, with Bitcoin going down by a percentage point, Ethereum by 2.19%, always overreacting the markets, XRP down by 2.63%. I'm just picking coins at random, but if you can see, Solana was at $145 at one point, down to $111, following the downwards market trend. Looking even further down to the top 50, every single coin is down except for the outlier here and there, which has seen an increase, but obviously this is due to token specific factors that has nothing to do with the markets. Maybe there were some new developments in those tokens that caused the prices to go up. But in general, markets are down. Looking at the price of Bitcoin, we see that at one point it was testing this $47,000 resistance level, and it even surpassed that, but then the bears started to take over and the prices just flirted with this level. And since then, we have seen it trading between the 45,000 and 47,000 for about a week, and then the prices broke down through the support level of 45,000 and kept going down, and now the markets went even further down and it's testing the $42,000 support level. We saw this massive red candle here. It was probably very unexpected. The price went from 43,200 to about 41,700, but then the bulls got back into the market and kept the price within this $3,000 band. The bulls obviously want to keep the price above the support level, because if it goes below the support level, they're going to lose money due to the fact that a lot of these bulls have long positions in terms of futures and options, and if the prices go sufficiently down, then their positions are going to be closed and liquidated and they're going to lose all their money. And that's why it's a fight between the bulls and the bears. When the prices go down, the bulls quickly work to push it up by buying more volume, and similarly, bears usually have short positions in the market, which means that they want the prices to go down. That's where they make profits. So if the prices go sufficiently up, then they lose out on money because they reach their margin call, which means that their loss is so large that the exchange has to close their position and they lose all their money. So that's why we see the prices going up and down within a support and resistance band. It's a tug of war between the bulls and the bears. Moving on to some news. Mexican billionaire Ricardo Salinas says his liquid portfolio is 60% Bitcoin. So Salinas is Mexico's third richest man and the world's 154th richest, with a net worth of almost $13 billion. He said that he doesn't own any bonds and he invests mostly in Bitcoin, with 60% of his liquid portfolio being in Bitcoin. Salinas has long been a Bitcoin fan. He's forever been a proponent of Bitcoin. Even in 2020, which is a year and a half ago, he posted a tweet which listed book recommendations, and this included The Bitcoin Standard by economist Saifuddin Amos. And this just shows that his stance that Bitcoin is good has not changed. He has been pro-Bitcoin forever. Also, he isn't the only Mexican excited about Bitcoin in Miami right now. Miami is where the Bitcoin conference is being held. Senator Indira Kempis, who is a pro-Bitcoin politician that represents the state of Nuevo León in Mexico said that she was going to propose making Bitcoin legal tender in Mexico, which is Latin America's second biggest economy. And it's not clear how realistic this announcement was, but it just shows the hyperbolic Bitcoiner bluster, which means that people are very, very much pro-Bitcoin, that they'll go to any extent in order to bring adoption. And in this case, Senator Indira Kempis wants to make it legal tender, which is very, very unlikely since Bitcoin is still very young. But it just shows that she believes in Bitcoin. Ricardo Salinas believes in Bitcoin. These billionaires have financial advisors that are paid in the millions. They're professionals, they're ex-bankers, they're ex-Wall Street gurus, basically. Essentially, what he's saying is Bitcoin is the future. And this has backing from all of these people that have spent decades in Wall Street studying the financial markets, and his statements bear some weight because of this. Moving on, the SEC approves fourth Bitcoin futures ETF, but this one is different. The Teucrium Bitcoin Futures Fund approval was granted to Teucrium Trading, which is a Vermont-based firm that has up to now exclusively offered crop price futures funds that track the price of corn, wheat, soybeans, and sugarcane. So they went from these type of commodities, such as crops, to trading Bitcoin futures. This is very interesting. Teucrium is the fourth Bitcoin futures fund to be approved. If you remember correctly, ProShares, Valkyrie, and Van Eck were funds that all began trading last year. All of these funds are futures funds. There has been no spot funds approved yet. And the fact that the fourth futures Bitcoin ETF has been approved might not seem like a big deal, but this new fund is different. The other three funds that were approved previously were under the Investment Company Act of 1940. But the Teucrium ETF marks the first time the SEC has approved the futures Bitcoin fund under the Securities Act of 1933. So now that a Bitcoin futures ETF has been approved under that 1933 Act, the argument has been made that the protections should be strong enough for a Bitcoin spot ETF as well. So the argument was that this 1940s Investment Company Act didn't offer enough protections to protect the people that are investing in these type of products, because Bitcoin is a volatile asset, but now the 1933 Securities Act treat Bitcoin as a securities or as an asset. So if that's the case, the protections are much, much higher than the 1940s Act, and it should provide enough protections in order to allow spot Bitcoin ETFs to trade in the market. So before, the SEC justified the 1940s Act as the differentiating factors between futures and spot ETF approvals, and that's why spot ETF applications have been denied. But now they can no longer use this, because now a futures Bitcoin ETF has been approved using the 1933 Securities Act. So this paves the way for Bitcoin spot ETFs to be approved in the near future. And when this happens, I think that, my personal opinion, Bitcoin is going to shoot up like we've never seen before. Solana's NFT marketplace integration and DApp metrics shine even after Sol's 20% drop. So Solana prices reached over $140 on April 2nd, which is about a week ago, after an 82% rally over a 20-day period. And this positive performance was mainly due to NFT market-related news and a market-wide bounce. So there are two factors here. One is that Solana-based NFTs would be listed on OpenSea, which is the largest NFT platform in the world. This is a big deal, obviously, because it opens up a whole new set of customers to purchase Solana-based NFTs. And because of this, the demand for Solana increased in order to purchase the NFTs and trade the NFTs. Secondly, there was a market-wide bounce. The crypto market cap went up by about 15 to 20% in a matter of 20 days. And obviously, Solana is very much tied with the rest of the crypto market, and it followed this. But their growth was amplified by 82% due to the fact that NFTs would be listed in OpenSea. But since then, Solana's price has decreased by 22.7%. Also, Solana's dApps deposits are on the decline, and their primary decentralized application metrics started to display weakness in late March after the network's TVL dropped below 50 million Solana. Despite this, the number of Solana network addresses interacting with dApps increased by 11% on average. So even though Solana's total value locked, or TVL, has been hit the hardest compared to similar smart contract platforms, there is a solid network use on DeFi and NFT marketplaces, due to the fact that the number of Solana network addresses interacting with dApps has increased. indicating that there is being increased adoption of Solana-based dApps. Gemini's Noah Perlman says that he's not spending any of his Bitcoin, and he sees compliance as a competitive advantage for Gemini, which is a crypto exchange. This exchange obviously gained a reputation for its ethos of prioritizing compliance and security over listing meme coins. And this has worked out because Gemini is one of the most trusted crypto exchanges, and they have not delisted any single token because they have a very rigorous application procedures for anyone that wants to list their coin in its platform. Their COO, Noah Perlman, previously worked as Morgan Stanley's global head of financial crimes and as division counsel for the Drug Enforcement Agency in the US. And because he has worked in such security-related and financial crimes-related jobs, I think it gives him a different perspective in terms of crypto regulation. He doesn't see it as a menace. He sees it as a good thing that we should embrace because he probably saw how much money people were losing because of financial crimes and how regulation helps minimize losses in terms of financial crimes. Because if there's regulation, it's less likely that scams will take place. So as I said before, they have a rigorous process for listing assets. Also, they are regulated by the New York Department of Financial Services, which adds an added layer of credibility to Gemini. The two owners, Tyler and Cameron, they say that their vision is that compliance really should be a competitive advantage and distinguishing factor in the crypto market. And to Gemini, regulation is a good thing because it means the government is embracing crypto and not outlawing it. And this is what I've been saying. It means that if the government is regulating crypto, obviously in a conducive manner, it means that people will be able to trade crypto more freely, companies will be able to operate in this industry more freely, and they'll actually know within which parameters they can operate. Because if there are regulations, it means that they can operate without the fear of lawsuits or the fear of fines from the government. Perlman, who is the CEO, is also bullish on Bitcoin as a long-term store of value and an inflationary hedge. And he has personally said that he's not spending any of his Bitcoin. So this just shows that the CEO of such a prestigious exchange, such as Gemini, is not spending any of his Bitcoin. It tells us that not only him, but other people in the industry are hodling onto their Bitcoin, and they only see Bitcoin moving in one direction, which is up. And that's it for today's video. Thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like, hit the subscribe button, and share this video with your family and friends. I'll see you tomorrow for the next one. Invest wisely, and cheers.